Hi, I'm Christina Applegate.
And I'm Jamie-Lynn Sigler.
And this is
Messy. The following message is brought to you by Novartis. Since partnering with Novartis, I have been thinking a lot about when I was diagnosed with relapsing MS. I kept it a secret at first, and that robbed me of the support I really needed. I finally found the courage to open up about it and quickly learned the importance of speaking up. That means making your voice the loudest in the room. You have to find an MS specialist who's the right fit, who makes you feel seen and heard. It's kind of like dating. That's why I partnered with Novartis to create a 3-step guide to inspire others to own their RMS journeys, recognize their needs, and find a treatment that works for them. Learn more about my story at reframingms.com. By now, you've had to be living under a rock if you haven't heard of Peloton. But are you aware of the variety of training programs Peloton has? They have Pilates, 5K, 10K, half and full marathon programs, strength training, boot camps. There's so many ways to challenge yourself and your body. And one of my favorite things about Peloton is they have their leaderboard. They have live metrics that allow you to see how your friends are doing in real time. You can have banter, you can have friendly competition, challenge each other, and even bragging rights at the end of each class. And let's also not forget the Peloton instructors, okay? They are in a league of their own. They're so impressive because you've got dancers, college athletes, world record breakers. The whole lineup of coaches are motivating and inspirational. It's like going to church. And also, they have different workouts for every type of mood. If you're looking for an early morning run or a late night hike, Peloton has you covered no matter what mood you're in or when you want to move. It also provides judgment-free instruction and guidance to make fitness approachable and enjoyable. And we know that we all want to fit in. We want to feel like we're taking care of ourselves. You can customize it to you. Also, Peloton offers exclusive memberships for all shapes, sizes, and walks of life, so anyone and everyone is welcome. Find your push, find your power with Peloton at onepeloton.com. That's onepeloton.com.
Hey, everybody, it's Christina
And
Jamie. And we have a very special episode today with another fellow MSer who actually came into our lives because she sent an email to us. So yes, we do read all the emails, but it was one of those ones that kind of shook us. And then Jamie, I know you wanted to.
Yeah.
Anyway, her name is Rory Kandel.
Yes, thank you. Yes, like what Christina said, we read the emails and they're all incredible, and we appreciate your candidness and the way that you are so open with us. But this email in particular had something in the body that really struck Christina and I. And, we realized we hadn't talked about it here because it's something we're dealing with as well, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. So Rory Kandel, tell us about yourself. I know I can tell you she's a Long Island girl, so she's great.
So I'm from Long Island.
Yeah.
I've lived in Northern California for 20 years, but I consider myself a New Yorker because I feel like when you're from there, you just are.
Mm-hmm.
And my whole family is still back east. So I grew up in a food family. I've always been a baker, and food has just always been a central part of my life and my family's life, and sharing it. I went to school for pastry. I worked in New York City, moved out to California. Everybody asks me why. I was with a guy. He's very much no longer in my life, but I wanted to come out here, so he was a good excuse. And then I kind of fell out of baking. I had 2 kids. I got married and sort of started waiting tables. And I live in Napa, so worked for Thomas Keller for a really long time and sort of was always just baking, but sort of got away from it. And then the pandemic happened, and I totally had the freedom to finally do what I wanted, which was start my own not bakery, because everything I make is frozen and meant for people to bake themselves. I'm really obsessed with smells. And so I just love when people get to bake things at home and they experience like the waiting and the anticipation and then the smell of it baking. So you're just that much more excited and you get the freshest possible product. So for me, I sort of went into this really niche market and started baking in my house. And in 4 years, I have my own kitchen, and my cookies are sold in grocery stores, and we're really branching out. So basically, my life has been going along incredibly well. And
Dum, bum, bum.
then last September, I was working in my kitchen, and all of a sudden I was like struck by this feeling of, God, my pants and my underwear feel really tight. Like just oddly so. Like I didn't gain 20 pounds overnight. Like what's going on? Why am I so uncomfortable? And so I started to like feel my body, and I'm like, this is so strange. Like in the crack of my thigh, my side, and all down the front of my right thigh, I'm like, it's like almost numb. And I had stupidly done like one of those Peloton Pilates classes, and I'm not a Pilates person. So in my mind, I thought, oh, I just stretched wrong. Like I pinched a nerve or something. But I also felt like this is really strange. Nothing hurts. I just feel strange, like almost like I'm touching myself through a really thick layer of foam or something.
I always tell people like to put their hand up against my hand, like right, so palm to palm, and then go like this, because I try to explain like that's the feeling. It's like you can feel it, but you can't feel it.
That's a way to explain it.
That's the way to do it. I'm telling you. And everyone's like, oh shit. They're like, that's how you feel all over. I'm like,
right. It's like, I can't feel it. I can feel it, but I can't. So my doctor was like, oh, just take some ibuprofen. Just basically the answer for everything. So I kind of just went on about my day and then my week. And I was also taking a yoga class at night with my friend, and it was yoga for relaxation because my business is really stressful, and it's like and I'm an anxious person. So any way I could like get more relaxation, I was doing. And I was going to the yoga class, and I couldn't do anything on my knee. Like I couldn't put any weight on my knee. And I wound up leaving like halfway through sometimes and crying. So I started calling my doctor again. Can I see a neurologist? Like, this isn't right. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. And I will say, for people who are questioning certain things about how they feel, you need to push your doctor, because I could have easily slipped through the cracks, but I was like, something's wrong. Like, I know something's wrong. And I would say previous to that, I go on a lot of long walks. And for the past year prior to my diagnosis, I would take walks and come home and say, like, I feel like I'm stepping over something, like I'm overcompensating, like I'm going to trip on something, but there's nothing in front of me. Like my brain is not understanding what's on the ground almost. It was,
oh my God, I want to cry how well you're describing this.
This is everything. And we know everything you're saying.
So it was, but that was another thing. Like I can't go to the doctor with that. Like it sounds like I'm crazy, but I'm like, it's like there's something, I'm not tripping, but I'm acting like I'm going to trip.
Or it feels like you're going to trip, right?
Yes. Right. In my brain, I'm like, something's there, but there's nothing there. So I'm picking my leg up more than I would, which is also causing me to feel like I'm going to fall. I had also been out with girlfriends and at night and fallen twice prior to going out. So like I hadn't had a drink. There was no reason for me to fall. And it like had stayed with me. Like, why am I falling? It's so embarrassing.
You would love, there's a shirt that says, I'm not drunk. I have multiple sclerosis.
Yeah, it's exactly.
My friend has it. I'm like, this is the best thing I've ever seen in my life.
So then I finally got them to take me in for an MRI, and they did, the brain, you guys know the thoracic, the
cage.
The brain.
So fun.
Right. The whole thing. I wear, my biggest tip is I always wear a blindfold in there. So I have no idea how small it is. Because I don't look. I don't look. So they do that. I get a call from my neurologist, and she said, oh, well, you have this thing on your right side. We found some lesions on your brain, but they're on the right side of your brain. So it wouldn't make sense that for them to be responsible for your leg, but we should probably send you in for a lumbar puncture, which I had like the fear of God. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing that. I absolutely panicked. That was the moment where it was like, she said multiple sclerosis, which I knew nothing about, like not on my bingo card.
Wow.
No, why would we know?
But not on your radar. I'm with it.
No, I don't know anyone with it. And two of my closest friends have older relatives that have it. So the first thing they did was start crying to me. No, that can't be. You can't have that. You don't have that. And they gave me even more of a fear, because they were so upset. And their relatives are in their 70s and 80s. So they
Which
also
is
weren't.
a different stage of things. Yeah.
So the doctor said, she said, you can wait. You can keep the lumbar puncture on, on hold, like on order for a year and just go when you feel like it. But my mom was like, Rory, you have to do this. Like, we have to know. At that point, my leg, after a month, the numbness had traveled down the front of my calf. So it was like, now it's my whole leg. And I don't know if you guys, if you shave your legs or if you wax, but
it is not fun on a numb leg. It's danger. It's dangerous.
Paper or something.
Yeah, it's the most horrible feeling. Oh.
So I'm like, I don't know what this is, but I need to find out. So I went in for the lumbar puncture and my doctor was so amazing. And he came in and he was like, before I do this, because I see how nervous you are, let me look at all of your MRIs and make sure we need to do this.
Wow.
Because he had said, there's nothing on your spine. And in 5 minutes, he came back and he said, your MRIs were read wrong. And you have over a 2-centimeter lesion on your thoracic. And I can almost promise you have MS. And that's why you can't feel your leg. So that was just,
it's so hard to hear.
A month of like, it's definitely not that. We just need to do this. Mm-hmm. I'm laying there, like getting ready for them to stick me with this thing in my back. And they're like, yeah, you probably have it. There was relief in like, okay, there's an answer. But I was also angry because I'd been told I was fine. Mm-hmm. And now, okay, it was there the whole time.
I remember my doctor, I had our friend Selma, who has MS. I was at her house. And I was like, yeah, I'm having this weird tingling in my toes and stuff like that. She goes, check for MS. I was like, yeah, okay. Like we're both going to have it. And I remember going to this doctor and I said, hey, do you think this could be MS? He's like, it's not really displaying as such. And it was that thing, like once the MRIs came in, I opened up a Zoom telemedicine thing with him. And the first thing he said was, I'm so sorry. And so I know that feeling when,
it's like, I'm okay.
It's like the fucking worst, right?
And then I was getting dressed afterwards and I already had my neurologist calling me to schedule an appointment for 2 days later to basically just confirm my diagnosis.
And to probably get you on therapy or whatever.
Immediately. Yeah. Like is really, that was a hard thing for me now looking back. I think I like reacted in the moment with fear. It was like, you have
How
this.
could you not?
They were like, you have to start taking rituximab. First, we're going to send you for 3 days of steroid infusions before, to see if we can get you.
Those make you feel great, don't they?
Oh,
Those make you feel and look awesome, don't they?
3 weeks ago, I had to take have you guys ever had had to do at home, the prednisone, the 25 pills each day? It's like, I lost the ability to walk a few weeks ago out of nowhere, wound up in the hospital and they put me on like super high dose
IV
prednisone. It was at home. So you have to take 25 pills
as opposed to having an IV and then you taper it.
Having an IV. No taper.
No taper.
1,250 milligrams for 3 days, 5 days.
Oh,
it was,
I just got shivers.
Like, and at the same time, I was moving my oldest son to Texas.
Sorry, we're not shitting on steroids, everybody.
Horrible. Don't.
Sorry, we're not shitting on them. We're just saying, like, we know that
they help when you need them.
Yeah.
But so that was my experience with diagnosis. It was just like a knee jerk. Instead of taking time to really research what medicine do I want to go on and do I want to go on a DMT right away, I just did it like as fast as I could.
Yeah.
And I haven't had a good reaction and I'm actually switching medication. I've gotten worse since I've had 2 doses. So, and that's not to shit on this medicine either, because I know there's tons of people who do well on it. It's just not agreeing with me.
Well, there's different things on the market for different reasons and for different people. And, you have been advocating for yourself beautifully thus far. And I encourage you to continue to do so. Thank you for sharing. I know. Thank you for sharing about that story. I mean, obviously you both made us emotional during it because I think it's a story like so many other people's stories. It's like wild how similar and you can kind of put yourself right back into that moment where your life was changed, you know?
Just wanted to take a quick break and share a word from one of Messi's advertisers. Since partnering with Novartis, I have been thinking a lot about when I was first diagnosed with relapsing MS. And to be honest, I was overwhelmed and in denial, and I didn't want to accept it. Eventually, I had to be real with myself, reflect on what was important, reframe how my diagnosis was impacting my life, and focus on how I was feeling. And I wish I'd started thinking about my needs sooner. It helped me get to a place of acceptance and find the right treatment choice for me. And I really hope others don't wait as long as I did. That's why I partnered with Novartis to create a 3-step guide, hoping it can help people speak up and voice their needs. Get the guide at reframingms.com.
Support for Messy comes from Jenny Kane. Oh gosh, the holiday season's here, which means we're focused on all things festive and gifting. And you want to tell somebody what to get you for your holiday gift? Tell them to go to Jenny Kane, the go-to destination for the best of the season. By the way, they have their iconic gift guide, which leads the way. And Jenny Kane makes it effortless to check off everyone on your list, including yourself. Everything's made with pure luxury, from their cashmere knits and their essential outerwear to their homeware pieces like their obsession-worthy candles. There's no better place to get into the seasonal spirit than at Jenny Kane.
So check this out. For a limited time, our listeners get 15% off their first order. So go to jennykane.com and use the code MESSY15, that's 15, to get 15% off.
Their cashmere fisherman and cashmere cocoon sweaters are two of their most iconic knits, and for good reason. They are incredible. There's also the cashmere Jackie sweater, which just landed, and it's nothing short of incredible. You can button it up and wear it as a turtleneck or unbutton it for a fresh take on like a classic crew neck. Also, if you're eyeing coats, they have the theater coat, the après coat, and we can't forget, like we said, about their home essentials, gifting candles. It's always a foolproof gift. Everybody loves a candle.
So check it out. Gift yourself and your loved ones the best gift of all, Jenny Kane. Our listeners get 15% off your first order when you use code MESSY15 at checkout. That's 15% off your first order at JENNIKAYNE.com. Promo code MESSY15. Let getting dressed be one less thing to worry about.
And so then all during this, you're building your bakery and you're building your bakery business, I should say. Uh-huh. And you were profiled in the San Francisco Chronicle, which is where you actually mentioned Messy. Thank you. Yeah. But after that, you were out there, like how we are out there, how anybody's out there. And I think I could speak for a lot of the MS community when I say, anytime there's somebody that will put their MS story out there, it's like we all cling to it for dear life. We wonder if somebody else is going to have an answer, or somebody else is going to have something to tell us. So you became that person for a lot of people. And before, I want to read a part of the email that you sent us again, because I really feel like what you've said is important. And after that, I want to talk about how this has made you feel. And I think we can speak a lot to it from our own experience.
Sure. And any questions you have of like how we cope, it's like, I hate even saying that word because that means that it feels like you get on the other side of the feeling of having this. And that's unfortunately, I'm so sorry, you don't get on the other side of the feeling of having this.
I have definitely come to the conclusion that it is like a partner in my life. Like I envision it as this like terrible devil running around inside of me.
I call her a bitch. So that's what I call her is totally. She's a bitch. And
she's a bitch, but what we're here to do.
She's a bitch to my family too.
We're going to try to figure out ways to tame her.
Yeah.
And befriend her because we've got to. Because we've got to. She's just, if she's living alongside us, we got to figure this out. But okay, I have this up. You said, although this article came out about me and I seem strong, I am super down. This disease is eating away at my resilience this week because my pain is so profound and there aren't any answers, just new medications that make me feel like shit. If there's a will, there's a way. I needed to hear it today. then you talked about how, and you had said, I feel so very lonely in this malfunctioning body, yet people are writing to me saying I'm inspiring. It's added a new level of guilt to my life. I'm not inspiring when I feel this way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I want to talk about that.
That is the hardest part right now for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like my pain, my MS is really, it's manifesting as pain.
Yeah. I lay in bed screaming.
So do I.
Now, Jamie and I have different, like all of us, like everybody has different like ways of it showing up. I lay in bed screaming, like the sharp pains, the ache, the squeezing, that
feels like I have knives in my spine,
in your feet. Also,
move. Like I'll be laying in bed and I wake up and I physically can't turn from side to side.
No, I know.
Get myself.
It's the worst.
Do you feel like that? It is
every single day of my life. I can't even pick up my phone sometimes because now it's traveled into my hands.
Oh my God.
So I'll like try to go get my phone or get my remote to turn on the TV or whatever. And I can't, sometimes I can't even hold them. I can't open bottles now.
But we look fine.
Because it's the beauty of the invisible disease, right?
Everyone comes in and they're like, you look great. And I have like a level, I don't want to say I'm angry because I'm not angry at anyone, but it's so frustrating to look fine. And
Jamie just laughs when I do this a lot. It's okay. Be angry. Okay.
Listen, I understand. We understand completely. But what I want to help you with that we've figured out, and I needed a lot of help with, especially when I came public about this, right? So let me back up a little bit before I get to it. So I kept it secret, right, for 16 years. And then when I first came out about it, I wanted to be the source of inspiration, right? I'm like, fuck, I want to make something good out of this. And yeah, I'm doing great. And yeah, you can do it too. And not that I was being phony, but I was terrified to show that I actually struggled with it. I didn't know how to explain to people, how am I supposed to help you when I tell you I'm in pain? And then it took me meeting Christina and her cracking me open and then starting this podcast where I realized, oh, I'm never going to help anybody unless I share my pain. And the reason why you are inspiring, and I'll, say it, maybe why Christine and I are quote unquote inspiring, is because of your willingness to just be your vulnerable human self that got dealt a shitty hand and we don't know why, but we're going to do the best we can while we're living with it. And that's what we're doing here. And so I want to help you be able to shift and relieve yourself of that guilt. You've already have so fucking much on your literal plate. Take that out of the equation.
I feel like the day I was diagnosed, I'm a very open person. I've always been very open and transparent. I've learned at 45 what to be open and transparent about. Sure. When I was younger, I was like, it's like, why did you say that? Go home and torture myself. Yeah. But now it's like, the day I was diagnosed, I had been so vocal about it on my Instagram, and I've built this like amazing community. I mean, it's not normal at my age to like make all these new female friends. Like that's not just something that we do as like, I don't want to even say middle age because I still feel 20, but like
I know what you mean. But
we're not there. Like a normal thing.
I'm past middle age, so thank you guys. So you guys have fun with your 45s.
And like
I'm 53.
You look awesome. So
right?
It doesn't really matter. So I just had told everybody about what I was going through. And so I felt like when I got the diagnosis, like I have to share it. I have to tell people. And within that, I also thought, well, somebody's going to find me on here and have something to share with me that's going to help me. Now that hasn't necessarily happened. Like the phone call I thought I was going to get or whatever, like, here's the magic that you need to like be okay.
I know.
You're going to get a lot of weird ones. Like I had a guy who said, I have holy water for you. I said, do you? You do. Thank you. I think I'm good.
Suggestions for that, but I've definitely gotten those responses too. But
you'll get them. You'll continue to. They're well intentioned.
Sure.
Yeah, they
I
are.
was like treading this line of like, how much do I share? When do I share it? It was like the busiest time for a baker is the holiday season. So I'm diagnosed like in the thick of in an insane amount of work. My work is so physical. And I'm very like, I don't even want to say tough, although my kids would say I am. You know, like I'm extremely determined. And in my mind, I'm like, I am not letting this stop me. And I still feel that way, even when I'm up at 3:30 in the morning and I'm in so much pain that I can't lay in bed anymore. And, you know, I'm still like, I am on this path. I'm on my path that I'm supposed to be on for my life. And I know that. I know the universe is behind me. And I'm sitting here talking to the two of you who have been so incredibly helpful to me the last few months. And it's like the universe has given me this for a reason. And I have to continue to share it. And I have to continue to tell people about it because I didn't know anything about it. And people don't know anything about it because so many people are so afraid to talk about it. And it's like, I didn't do anything to deserve this.
Yes.
And I don't have anything to be embarrassed about.
Yes.
That's always the question too, isn't it, Rory? Like, how did you get it? Is it in your family?
No.
It's like everyone wants a fucking answer. Like, we caused it somehow. And, you know, all this stuff. And it's like, if that was the case, there would be a cure. If they had an understanding really of what this is, you know, we'd have more I mean, there's a lot of advances with the treatments and stuff, but I totally get, like, I get really frustrated with people and I'm like, oh my God, like every single one of my friends who has it had different lives completely.
Right.
You know,
I want to go back and blame myself. I spent too many years being stressed out.
Right.
I had, you know, anxiety and like I did this to myself.
But what's the point? It is what it is right now. It is what it is. And we have to accept it. And I just want to say, before we go any further, I'm very proud of you. We don't know each other, but all of us here at Messy are so proud of you, and we're so moved by your letter and what you have done with your diagnosis immediately and your business. And I just wanted to take a quick pause to acknowledge that, because what you've done and what you've been so willing to share from the beginning is no easy feat, you know, and everybody deserves their own process and their own time of how they wanted. There's no right or wrong way of handling this, living with it, talking about it. That's what we're here for, right? To figure out how to talk through the hard things and live with the hard things. But, you know, I think there can definitely be pros and cons to being unapologetically vulnerable, right? And putting it all out there. And we could speak as well to those experiences. But for you, like, what have been the positive and negative parts since sharing, or have there been any?
Well, so the positive parts are obviously it's great exposure for my business. Yeah. I'm not going to lie about that.
Yeah,
I'm trying to build a nationwide business and I am committed to that. And so that was when I was first approached, it was like, oh my God, to get a story in the Chronicle, I had no idea that it was going to be such a big story. What happened is I started talking to the reporter who I just loved. And I have to say, she is the most excited about this of anyone. The most. She also knew nothing about it.
Say her name so we...
Her name is Elena Kedvani. We had like 2 interviews and then she shared everything with the editors and they came back and said, the editors love this. You're so open and we want to build on the story. And so that's when it really like got bigger. And we took 3 months of doing interviews and 4 days of photographs. And it was like a much bigger thing than initially it had been slated to be. And when it came out and it was on the front page of the Sunday Chronicle, it was like, my heart stopped a little bit because I'm like, I'll be in the food section. I'm so excited. It's a national newspaper. I've been waiting for this. I've been envisioning this. And then I'm like, oh, I'm on the front of the Sunday paper.
God, you didn't know?
No, they wanted to surprise me.
Oh my
so
God.
My heart was like, oh
my God.
Now everyone knows my story. So immediately it was like, obviously a ton of new followers, but like really a lot of heartfelt letters, so many letters saying, you are speaking for thousands of people. We're so appreciative, you know, lots of joy, love, support, lots of suggestions, lots of you're so inspiring, which is the hardest thing for me to digest.
Well, and it's hard to feel like I'm inspiring because of a disease I'm living with. But the truth is, to a lot of people, you are.
It is. And so then people are coming in and everyone who picks up brings up the article. And then some people have tears in their eyes when they're talking to me. And I'm a very emotional person, and that's a lot. My business is meant to create joy. Like that's the bottom line. It's like unexpected joy is my life. I love magic and like just the universe handing you things that you weren't expecting. And now people are coming in crying and thinking that I'm dying, and that I am not dying. I am unfortunately going to have to live a lot more years with this. Yeah. I'm not unfortunately, but
I know, right? It's like, oh shit, that lady's 89 and she still has it. Dang it. Okay.
I have to say that's like my biggest fear when I wake up in the middle of the night.
Okay, but I'm not going to affirm that.
But I mean, the thought, I don't know if either of you ever think about it, but I often think, what does this look like in 10 years?
Of course, every fucking day. But what we're doing in that moment is robbing ourselves of right now. Because the truth is, if I think back to 10 years from now ago, I was able to do a lot fucking more than I can right now. And that's the truth. But 10 years ago, I was worrying about right now. And what good did that do me? I look back and I'm like, oh my God, Jamie, you were doing so well then. Like, God, I wish I could shake you and just understand. But now that I'm here, how do I not know that 53-year-old Jamie's going to look back at me and be like, bitch, what are you doing? It's great.
The doctor says about her mom. She's like, if you asked my mom 10 years ago, she would be like, everything is terrible. Everything is terrible. And she's like, now 10 years later, she's like, I wish I had appreciated the condition I was in 10 years ago.
And that is MS or not. Okay. I think we all rob ourselves of just projecting or envisioning what is coming or what is to come, when the truth is, right? If we speak like Christina and I subscribe to the universal law of like, if all we have is now, if the power of everything is in now, we still hold out the stubborn hope that things could change for us. And one day maybe there will be something that remyelinates and will cure us and will make us better.
If we keep talking about it,
that's
someone
right.
will
We can
do
put
something.
it out
That's
there.
what I think.
But the only way that we can harness any of that energy is to live in the now and stop projecting these fears. And I'm speaking to myself right now. Okay. I'm not saying this as some like, let me tell you how to do it. Like, I'm trying, I'm in the trenches with you, but I needed to hear this today too. Like, I don't want to rob myself. And I've talked about this with Christina in our own time of like robbing the joy of what is now and what is coming at us, because you don't want to miss any beautiful things. And the truth is, I know it's hard for people to come into your bakery and look at you and cry, but that's also a really beautiful, authentic human exchange. Like, sometimes when I think about people that look at me and cry and we connect on that deep level, it's like some of like the richest moments of my life. And sure, they might not be laughter and quote like a happy time, but who's not to say that it has any less value? So I understand how sort of this is like uncharted waters for you. This is all new. All of this is so new. Your business, your diagnosis, the world knowing, but you're doing it. You're doing it great. You're doing it great.
The two of you are lucky in the sense that you are already, you're public figures. People know you. It's not hard for you to be exposed. I mean, no, it is hard for you to be exposed about this, but you're already exposed. Like, everyone knows your names. I am.
I get it.
I mean, a regular person, I'm just like living here, doing my thing. And now I feel like I have a much bigger platform, and my goal now is to use it really because I don't feel uncomfortable talking about it, because I won't tell anyone anything they want to know about it because I despise it.
Support from Messy comes from Public Rec. All right, ladies, listen up. If you're like me, holiday shopping for the people in your life means stressing out over trying to find something that they will look great in, but also something that they will wear. So if you have a man in your life, a brother, an uncle, a son, a partner, and he doesn't want stiff, uncomfortable pants squeezing his family jewels, and you don't want him looking like a slob at your holiday party, well, you are in luck because Public Rec has developed pants that feel as comfortable as sweatpants, but look nice enough that he can wear them anywhere.
I got my man their bestseller, the Daymaker pants, and they are great for hanging with our friends or lazy days around the house. So usually when you order comfy pants, you only get to pick from like small, medium, large, and extra large sizes. But with Public Rec pants, you get to select the exact width and length your man needs, which I thought was really great. So whether he's a 30 by 32 or a 44 by 36, you can find the perfect fitting pants. And they all come in very unique colorways, from navy, dark olive, stone gray. You are sure to find the right color for your man. And they have their proprietary blend of performance materials, which provides the perfect combination of breathability and stretch while still holding its form. He will never want to take them off. Trust us.
So your hunt for the perfect holiday gift is over. For a limited time only, our listeners get 20% off when you use the code MESSY at checkout. That's 20% off with the code MESSY at publicrec.com. After you purchase, they're going to ask you where you heard about them. You know what you can do? Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. Happy gifting. Messy is sponsored by BetterHelp.
Take a moment.
You take a moment.
You do it. You what? Tell me what?
Tell me what.
You were saying you know what? Take a moment.
Because I want you to say thank you to someone in your life.
Thank you, Christina.
This month is all about gratitude. And along with the person I just shouted out, which I didn't because it didn't, but she did. There's another person we don't get to thank enough. Ourselves, guys, ourselves. It's something hard to remind ourselves that we are trying our best to make sense of everything and this crazy world. And that ain't easy. Here's a reminder to send some thanks to people in your life, including yourself.
And a way sometimes to do that is to give yourself the gift of therapy. And if you're thinking of starting therapy, why don't you give BetterHelp a try? BetterHelp is entirely online. It is designed to be convenient, flexible, suited to your schedule. All you have to do is fill out a brief questionnaire. You get matched with a licensed therapist. By the way, you can switch therapists at any time if your guys aren't vibing for no additional charge. The holidays are coming. Your triggers are coming. Families are coming. And just even if nothing is coming, even if all the good is coming, you still deserve to have somebody to sort through your feelings with and recognize it all. So let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/messy today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/messy.
There you go, guys. Do it.
It's like so hard for our caretakers. Like, it's been really hard to watch him deal with it. My kids, like I was picking my 14-year-old up from football last night, and I am not like, his game is away tomorrow and I am not going to go because by the end of the day, like I just can't always do those things. And
good for you for knowing that.
Yeah. He doesn't always ask, he doesn't ask about the MS a lot. He's 14. He's like Mr. Cool Guy. And it's
hard for that. My daughter's 13.
Super hard.
Really hard. And they're mad at it too. They love you, but they're mad at it.
He's like, I don't really understand. And I was trying to explain it to him at my car ride home. And he goes, Mom, it's so confusing. And I'm 14. Like, I really don't understand it. And it just breaks me, because I'm like, I can't do everything for you that
he's going to figure it out while you figure it out. And that's what you can tell him is say, I don't understand it either. And as this goes, I'll explain it. The only promise that you can make him and that I've made to my family and friends is I promise to ask for help when I need it. And they will, I do want to know more about your family and how they help you and support you and also their reaction to it, because I think, my kids have only ever known me with MS.
Right.
But my husband has obviously had a journey with me in it affecting me differently, and my friends and my family. But like, even on a film set, when I like start a new job and people like don't know what they need to do for me yet, and there's that awkwardness and there's that weirdness, and I hate feeling like I'm being like singled out, or I hate feeling like I'm needing extra attention. But then after a couple of weeks, they just start to know, and they figure out my body, and they see what I need and what I don't need, and it becomes this sort of well-oiled machine. And I think that will happen with your family. It's so hard to explain in general. And like you said, you're still figuring it out yourself. And, I think that just keeping that open line of communication is the most important, and being honest.
I think it's just so hard for them to see me in pain.
Well, yeah, and it's awful for them. And so Sadie will sometimes be like, no, I want the way you make this meal, which means I got to go down 2 flights of stairs, because there's this part of her that is like, no, you're going to prove to me that you're not gone. You're going to like, and I don't even think she knows that she's doing it. It's like, no, your version of that is what is going to happen. And then you're going to bring it upstairs on a tray to my room. And she kind of forces that to happen, but it's also at the same time forcing me to kind of push through moments where I just want to lay in bed.
Mm-hmm.
What people sometimes don't understand too, which else can freak someone out, is that our skin hurts.
Oh yeah.
And we have a disease of the nervous system and the neurological system. And for me, sometimes if someone goes to hug me, I don't know about you, but I twitch.
Oh yeah.
And I go into like full, like, no. And it's such a weird feeling, because it's like your brain is going, no, I can't have this. But I promise you, you're going to be okay with that.
You get used to it.
I've had to
get used to it. But and then once you can tell yourself, like, I named all my limbs so that I could talk to them. Like I do. I have Beverly, Barbara, I have Stanley, I have Meghan Markle, I have Tootie. My big toe, which has gone numb just recently, is Stanley Tucci. And then the whole thing is Sylvia.
Wake up, Stanley Tucci. Wake up.
I know. I told Stanley, I was yelling at Stanley and all his roles because of the toes now are like it went completely numb. So, and that was just a few days ago. Sorry, not to scare you, but then I get on my power plate and then vibrate on there. That's another thing. I know it's not one of our sponsors, but I'm telling you, it's a game changer. Okay.
What is it?
It's power plate. It's a vibration plate. And
I'm going to look it up.
It's for exercise, but they also, a lot of people with MS use it. That's, I don't know if I'm supposed to say that. Don't care. Information for you.
It's like the grounding. A lot of people have told me to get a grounding mat. I have no idea.
No.
Yeah, those don't, but everyone's different. Those don't vibe for me. Everything is different,
Okay.
Everybody's
I love to lay in the grass.
The squeezy thingy, the things that go on the leg that's like for compression.
Oh yeah.
That go like.
Oh yeah, no go.
That's no go for you, but for me, it actually helps me.
Right.
So you have to kind of figure out. Anyway, what I'm saying is that eventually you can talk to those places. Like, cause I talk to Barbara, cause sometimes Barbara will start like moving really weird and I have to go, Barbara, you need to stop. Cause remember, the lesions are in our brain. So it's I know this is not a cure for MS, you guys, but kind of talking to everybody and going, it's safe. It's okay. It's safe.
I'm just on a new medication since yesterday that I've been avoiding taking because I'm so desperate. Nothing helps for my pain. Nothing. I've tried everything. And this is like the final thing. And it makes you starving. And it does, all the meds that they give us are like, they affect your brain. It's like, I'm not bipolar, but I have to take a medication for people with seizures and bipolar to attempt to get rid of the pain, which has all these other effects on us. But all of the things I've been given in the past 9 months, all the infusions, I did a ketamine infusion, I did a lidocaine infusion. I just feel disgust. Like I just feel gross. Even though everyone's like, you look the same. I look at myself and I'm like, I'm not the same person anymore. I can't see myself being attractive anymore. And clothes like feel really uncomfortable on my skin. So I'm like, I just want to wear sweatpants all the time.
That's what I live
Look
in.
at me.
Jamie knows, like, I'm always in like sweatpants. Like, there's no jeans. What, a jean?
No.
A jean is painful. Unless I have to go to like a concert and my daughter's like, you can't wear your sweatpants, Mom.
My kids do that too. They're like, are you going to go out like that again? I'm like, I don't want to put anything uncomfortable on my legs and my waist.
Oh, it's the
So
worst.
get some
feeling.
Viore pants. Just
Yes, that is one of our sponsors. The Viore
or Jenny
jogger.
Kane.
There you go.
But what is it? I just want to ask, is there anything that your husband is saying to you? Like, how has his reaction been to this?
He just feels helpless. Like, is always saying, I'm so sorry. Like, I tell him all the time, stop apologizing to me. It's not your fault. But he just is like, I just wish there was something I could do, something anyone could do, because he's the one who's really seeing me every night. He's the one who hears me in bed. He's the one who knows, like, that I'm basically incapacitated and sees me get up off the couch. And I don't know if it's like that for both of you, but when I get up, I'm like awkward until
the floor is lava. Like, the floor is lava.
Every time.
Every single time.
I look like a freak, you know?
I look like somebody put a hot fire poker up my asshole.
Yeah. That's,
I would say me too.
We always know what kind of day I'm going to have, which Jamie knows that I just lay in bed all the time. I mean, I worked for almost 50 years. So I'm kind of okay with it. But if I put my feet on the ground and they're hurting like extraordinarily bad to the touch, I was like, yep, gonna get back in my bed and pee in my diaper because I don't feel like walking all the way to the damn bathroom.
I get it.
I actually don't lay here and pee in my diaper. That's just a joke. But it's like, it's so freaking painful and so hard and so awkward. And I've been trying to like do like ankle rolls and stuff in the morning and try to get some. That's why I was telling about the power plate, is that I noticed the second I know, sorry, I'm doing an ad for it.
It's your
I don't care.
experience. That's okay.
Yeah.
The second I get on it, 30 seconds of the vibration and I'm walking better. Now, all of a sudden, do I not have MS? No, but I can get to the bathroom because I have one in my room and I have one in the gym. I have a small one in my room and then I have the big daddy in my gym.
Support comes from Zocdoc.
Okay, so there are some things in life that are okay to be a total crapshoot. Like, I don't know, trying a new type of milk in your coffee, or, a cheap Instagram ad impulse buy, which, I actually have purchased. And guess what? It's not what they say that they are half the time. Yeah, I get a different item sent to me. So those are crapshoots. Okay, listen to me. Finding the right doctor shouldn't be a total crapshoot.
Finding the right doctor is important for you and your health. And Zocdoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors. Choose the right one for your needs and click to instantly book an appointment. Okay, we're talking about in-network appointments with more than 100,000 healthcare providers across every specialty, from mental health to dental health, eye care, skin care, so much more. Plus, Zocdoc appointments happen fast, typically within 24 to 72 hours of booking. So sometimes you can even score same-day appointments. You can see the actual appointment openings on the website or app. You can choose the time that works for you and then click to instantly book a visit. How easy is that?
It's so easy. Stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to Zocdoc.com/messy to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. Also, their commercials are hilarious. Just go to Zocdoc.com/messy. Zocdoc.com/messy. Messy.
Support for Messy comes from Lumi.
Okay, so you might have heard of Lumi Whole Body Deodorant for your pits, privates, and beyond. But did you know that they just dropped their first whole body deodorant spray? Seriously, it's incredible.
And you know why she loves it? Because it's powered by innovative pH optimized technology that stops odor before it starts, rather than simply covering up odor with fragrance. It's water-based, contains way less alcohol than the competition. They use enough for a quick dry, and that's it, which is why in clinical trials, 0 participants experienced any burning or irritation. And the canister is also designed for effortless 360 application, meaning you can turn it upside down to spray those hard-to-reach spots, below the belt, all those things.
It's in the privates.
You ready for a deodorant upgrade?
Hey, we got a special offer. Listen to this, guys. New customers get $5 off Lumi's starter pack with code MESSY at lumideodorant.com. I'm telling you, people, this stuff works. I've never been more passionate about something in my life.
Yeah. It's baking soda free, paraben free also.
Yeah.
Also the scents. Tell us about all the scents, Christina.
Okay. So we've got like a lavender, you got like coconut, if you really want to be a little tropical down yonder. The grapefruit spray is delicious. Rose is my favorite of the creams. And the wipes are cucumber. So refreshing.
So Lumi's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, a cream tube deodorant, and 2 free products of your choice, like mini body wash or these deodorant wipes she was just talking about, and free shipping. So as a special offer for listeners, new customers get 15% off all Lumi products with our exclusive code. And if you combine the 15% off with the already discounted starter pack, that equals over 40% off their starter pack. Use code MESSY for 15% off your first purchase at lumideodorant.com. That's code MESSY at LUMEDEODORANT.com.
Do you two notice any triggers? Like I do, I try to write down what I eat. I try to write down what I did the day before or whatever. And I have not yet come upon this is the thing. This is why I had such a bad night.
You're never going to have that. You're not going to have that. So I think that you need to relieve yourself of that.
Stress though, yes.
Heat?
You get
stress.
Heat. Stress.
I know. I make myself walk in the afternoons here in the heat sometimes, and it's gotten so hard. Heat, I used to be able to.
No, that's like kryptonite.
So to me,
kryptonite.
Pushing yourself in the heat will take you out for a minute. To me, takes me out way worse than any other pushing myself. Pushing myself exercising, I can recover from in 20, 30 minutes. But pushing myself in the heat, I'm out for a few hours sometimes. So, but you're going to get to know your body. Like Christina said, this really affects everybody differently, which is frustrating and confusing. But also, I think supports more in what you were saying of we've all been giving this thing for a reason. We may never know while we're alive, but what I'm trying to do at least is see the little miracles that happen because of it. I also feel like it made me the person I always wanted to be. In very many ways, it slowed me down so much that it made me do some work on myself that I don't know, had I not been given this pause, I would find. Not to say that that's the same thing for anybody else, but I think we all have individual, unique stories that come along with this. But what we can share is how painful that is. It's still not easy. No worthwhile road is, but without the sharing, we're just, like Christina says all the time, burying down and pushing down these feelings that are being held in places in our body.
That. By the way, I don't recommend the way that I deal with my own trauma from this, but I don't recommend it.
It has been traumatizing, and it is most of the time I'm really able to talk to myself and be positive about it, and I'm going to overcome it. But there are nights where I sit down in my backyard and I ugly cry, and it's just I'm overwhelmed by the forever of it.
we're still in the stage of, I'm 3 years in, so, and I'm still in the stage of like, why the fuck has this happened to me? Mm-hmm. And Jamie knows this. I'm not into acceptance. And I don't think I ever will feel that feeling of acceptance.
I hear you say that all the time. And I'm always shaking my head.
Because why do I be like, oh, this is great. I accept it.
No.
But no, I know.
But acceptance, you don't have to like it. For me, in my acceptance, I still hate it. You don't have to like it, but it is what it is. Like, it's just, I feel like that I for 2 decades felt like I was in a war every single day with my body. It's like, what you going to do to me today? And how am I going to try to override you? Or how am I going to try to fix you? Like, it became my full-time focus, my full-time job. And living with a chronic illness requires an incredible amount of energy and effort and task. But at the same time, like, I figured out how to put it in the passenger seat. And that was more acceptance, being like, all right, you're in the fucking car, but you're not driving. It still makes me pull over a lot when I don't want to, but I couldn't live in that war every day anymore.
Well, that's what I was trying to say is I'm still in that war.
I know you are. Yeah.
You know that.
I know. And I just said I spent 2 decades there, so I get it. Girl.
Yeah. So you're 9 months in. I'm 3 years in. I still feel like this. And I'm not trying to say that you're in 3 years from now that you're going to feel the way that you're feeling now, because when I was diagnosed, I was in the middle of shooting a show. Like, I didn't have time.
Right. Like, you're just going.
Deal. I mean, and I gained 45 freaking pounds. I didn't recognize myself anymore. I have lost those 45 pounds, FY, people.
She has.
Not that matters, but it's gone. And it's not medicine. Nope. There's no medicines, just really bad stomach issues, which is just, anyway.
Which you can get for free.
You can get those for free. It's great. And there's no side effects from throwing up blood. No, not from just stomach stuff. Like, certain medications make you kind of sick or just the stress of things. But anyway, it's gone. Anywho, but I didn't have the chance to like mourn. And it took us like a few months to finish the last season of Dead to Me because I had to take like a month off and figure out what the hell I was going to do and start my infusions and, and the steroid stuff. And I had 10 hours of steroid infusions and all this stuff and trying to wrap my head around this. I got it on a Monday night after I shot all day. That's when they told me. And I was like, hey guys, that thing that's been going on with me? Guess what it is? MS. I couldn't walk from my trailer to set. I could, like, all this stuff was happening. Anyway, my point being is that once you kind of, the noise stops and you kind of sit there and like really face it, it's like, then the feelings change as well. So I don't know if it's a good thing, but like when I got quiet, it was like, okay, that now I have to be proactive and I have to kind of go, what can I do to make every day a little bit better?
I'm trying so hard.
It's so fucking hard, Rory. Yeah. You cannot sit here and say that after 9 months, you're like, I've got the answers. You don't.
I have none.
All we have is one day at a time.
Day by day.
That's it.
And I really do. It has the one positive about it, and I do tell this to a lot of people, is that it's changed my perspective on life in general. Like, I am so much more able to live in the moment and to say, and it's actually, Jamie, you shared somebody that you follow, and I don't know his name. He's a guy who is like I don't know if he's self-help or who he is, but
Ryan.
Yes. And there was one post where he was talking about like anxiety and people whose minds like go to tomorrow or they go to yesterday. And he just was talking about how to like look at right now, like stand where you are and be in this place and you're safe right where you are.
Yeah.
And that post and what I'm going through really like helped me reframe every day.
I'm so glad. Let me just give a quick shout out to my friend Ryan Weiss, his Instagram. Thank you for bringing this up. I actually spoke to him this morning. He completely changed my life when I met him. His name is Ryan Weiss. His Instagram is Waking Up with Ryan. And he just worked so fucking hard and put all his money into this sort of self-accountability course that just addresses all of this stuff. So if you want to go to his Instagram and check out this course and take it for yourself, I've taken it. It's incredible. It's really helped me with my perspective. Thank you for bringing that up. I'm literally just trying to help a friend and give that shout out.
It was really, he's great.
I'm so glad to hear that. It makes me so happy because that's what social media can be for, right? It's just to pay it forward and connect to people in this way. And that's what you are doing. And we are proud of you and so honored to have you share with us. You represent all of our listeners and represent the two of us as well. And we're just so grateful that you spent your time with us. But before we let you go, we're going to have to do Christina's 5 movie tricks on you.
Also, I was going to say too, like before, like you're going to have to start saying no. That's it.
I have gotten much better.
Okay, good. Like,
I don't feel like going to dinner tonight.
It's so freeing when you can just be like, yeah, no. And you know what? The beauty of it is they have to understand.
The best part is
no one can give you shit. They're like, yeah.
I was already a flake before. And now.
So now you're like even flakier.
Now I can like be a flake and I have a real excuse.
With confidence.
So, yes. I'm like,
there you go.
You know what? No, I'm not going to dinner tonight. My friends are going to listen to this and laugh.
I'm like, you guys can come here and bring me food in my bed. That's what you can do. Okay. So give me your 5 movies. Don't think about it.
The Wizard of Oz.
Okay.
Dirty Dancing. Pretty Woman. Her. Do you know that movie?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there's, let's see, one more. Something's Got to Give.
Okay. All right, you guys talk because I have to do things.
Where in Long Island are you from?
I'm from the 5 towns. So I went to Lindbergh High School.
Oh, cool.
Oh, you know what? I really had to ask you. This is so silly, but because you're from Long Island, I have to bring this up because we're similar ages.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
Jericho.
Do you remember the whole Amy Fisher?
Of course.
Story where you were living in Long Island?
Yes.
And I don't know why, when I realized you were from Long Island, I'm like, I have to ask her if she remembers that. Just because we used to drive by his auto body shop all the time.
Yes. Oh my God, it was a huge scandal.
So Long Island. And I haven't lived in Long Island since I was 17 and I never go back. I don't know if your family's still there.
My parents and my brother there. I'm there all the time.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I never go. My parents live in Pennsylvania now, but yeah, I haven't been there in so long, but I really want to go back with my kids just because.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love Long Island.
Do you?
I love it. My husband's always like, "What is wrong with you?" I'm like, "What do you mean? Give
me
a bagel shop and a pizza shop." Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I miss all that too.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So what I don't know, what I'm feeling is that there's a part of you that wishes you could 20-year-olds. Okay. Your 20-year-old
You just
self.
sounded like you were head of DJ. Okay, go.
I know.
Okay. And tell her to be grateful for her time and to not get caught up in thinking that something outside of yourself is going to make you happy, but you wish you could go back and have the fantasy of what you wished it could have been for you in life.
She's good, huh?
That's really good. And
that's what I got from that.
This definitely wasn't my fantasy, by the way. MS.
No,
none of ours.
It's not a sexy vibrator, sweetheart. It's just gross.
Yeah.
Rory, please tell everybody about Rory's Bakehouse, like how they can support you, order cookies, all the things, please.
Okay. So we are going to start nationwide shipping hopefully in the next 2 weeks. I don't know when this podcast is coming out.
So let's just say now.
Okay, now. So you can go on our website, rorysbakehouse.com, and order our giant chocolate chip cookies to bake yourself. If you're in the Napa Valley, you can order and come into our shop and pick up all of the things that we make, which is a huge variety of scones and cookies and all sorts of things. But shipping is our big thing. So we would love to get cookies in everybody's hands.
There you go.
Support our girl, please. Well, would you mind staying on as I pick a card as well?
No, of course not.
All right,
the cards are okay. I don't want to jinx it, but the cards are crazy.
All right, let's see what we got today.
We don't look at them first.
Ooh, it's short. In the depth of winter, I finally learned that there was in me An invincible summer.
I love that one.
That one's for you, Rory. That's what the universe picked for you today.
Thank you.
And so it is.
So it is. This show is executive produced by Christina Applegate, Jamie-Lynn Sigler, and Allison Bresnick. Our audio engineer is Josh Windish.
And if you want to show us some love, don't forget to leave the show a rating or review. Hi, it's Jamie. Thanks for listening. I just want to let you know I am a paid spokesperson for Novartis, but this podcast is independent from my collaboration with Novartis.